Live, guys. So thank everybody for joining today. I hope so far you've had a great couple good presentations, and yesterday was just as good. I've had some great feedback from the attendees. So if you have any questions, any feedback, we'd love to hear from you. We're just trying to make sure that everyone has a great experience here, and from presenters to attendees. So if there's any way that we can improve that for you, we'd love to hear. Our presenters next, excited to have them here. It's John Deere. John Deere has been a very strong supporter of our Precision Ag Conference for the last multiple years. So we're really glad to see them back on with us again. We're lucky to have two presenters this year. So we have John Mischer. John is the Tactical Marketing Manager for Precision Ag at John Deere. He leads product marketing for the Precision Ag technologies residing on large ag machines, such as displays, receivers, controllers, and ag software. This includes the go-to market planning and execution with respects to large ag production systems and production steps within those systems. John leverages practical experience from production agriculture coupled with prior experience with software sales, implementation, and support. Prior to his current role, John spent time in a tactical marketing role on precision ag onboard applications and field-based roles, helping dealers to sell and implement ag logic in the ag retail sector. John joined John Deere after John Deere acquired Agris. And if you remember that was another great company, an ag retail software in 1999. Agris has served as a product manager, implementation and training manager, and national account manager. So that's all about John. And now we're going to learn about Doug. So Doug Dickman is the project manager for Precision Ag Technology. Doug is currently working with John Deere's digital specialist dealers and customers, helping drive the understanding and awareness of John Deere's digital tools. This is really important. This work includes creation and implementation of training materials to be used for dealer and customer events. Doug's previous role worked with JD Link, Ag Logic, Apex, and John Deere Operations Center, provided a well-rounded background with John Deere Precision Ag Technologies. Doug has been with John Deere for almost 15 years and has had various roles with engineering, software testing, system engineering, and marketing with John Deere. Doug started his career and passion for technology and customers after graduating from college and working for an independent ag service provider in Illinois as their precision ag manager. So he's got a good background here. This provided an exciting time as customers began installing their first generation yield monitors and variable rate seed controllers. After leaving the ag retail, he spent 9 years working with CNH Global in various roles and project management roles. And as well as he is a research agronomist for their tillage equipment line. So without further ado, please welcome Doug and John, and go ahead, gentlemen. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Andrew. Appreciate that. And wow, as I sat back and listened to that introduction, I thought, is that really me? But I guess it is. So good morning, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today, and welcome to the promise of precision ag delivered through smarter equipment and better decisions. As Andrew shared, I'm John Mischer. With me today is Doug Dickman. Doug, you want to say hi, introduce yourself a bit?
Good morning. Well, I don't think I need to introduce myself after that introduction that Andrew gave, but I'm pleased to be here today. And as mentioned, I'm a project manager working in production and precision ag today with John Deere. Thanks,
Excellent.
John.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Doug. During our time together, Doug and I have several topics that we're anxious to really share with you. We'll begin by sharing a bit of our John Deere strategy as it relates to precision ag. We'll then discuss steps we're taking to make equipment even smarter, and what that means to farmers around the world. Then Doug will share some of the ways that better decisions can be and are supported with data. And after that, we'll wrap up and address any questions that kind of come up during the conversation. Really, to set the stage for today's session and cast a bit of vision, we want to begin with a short video. I suspect many of you have watched Farm Forward 2.0 before, but as you watch it again, I'd ask that you challenge your current thinking a bit about the role of technology today in your operation and consider what an even more technologically advanced future might look like.
The front should pass by midday. Based on drainage and when the rain stops, we should be able to start spraying by end of day.
Yeah. Drew on his way back?
He said he was checking on the boys.
All right.
Message from Walker Keane, John Deere dealer.
Hey Drew, updated and checked your combines remotely. All machines are optimized for harvest season.
Message to Walker. That's great. Thanks. Send.
Message sent.
Kate, did you see the latest?
Looking at it now.
Dad's, worried.
With the solutions the agronomist sent me, he'll be better. How are the boys?
They're working where we can't, and they'll be on it all night.
They'll get it done.
Your machines are set for projected yield and moisture. And we're also updating firmware on Harvester 3 tonight.
That's great. Hey, let's take a look at fields 5 and 6 tomorrow. May want to change some settings there.
Yeah, sure thing. We'll check in tomorrow. Have a good one.
Thanks. You too, buddy. Go to field 5 and aggregate all. Mark.
Aggregate field 5. Recommendations from agronomist. Phosphorus nitrogen application on sections 2, 8, and 27 with health predictions.
Go with solution 2, field 5.
Solution 2, field 5.
They look great.
Mm-hmm.
With the weather, prices are up by 10 cents at the elevator. You want to sell?
It's not bad.
Yep. Shall we?
Let's do it.
Great. Thanks, John. I'd like to start our discussion today with the John Deere Precision Ag Strategy. We think it's important for you to understand what it is we're trying to accomplish and why it's important for you and your future. So simply put, Our precision ag vision is that our customers will be the world's most profitable and sustainable farmers. When I talk about profitability, that means that customers with our equipment and precision ag technology experience higher yields, lower cost, and lower risk year after year. When we talk sustainability, that means that our technology will help farmers be even better stewards of the land, reducing waste and helping them do more with less. And as it speaks to financial sustainability, being able to have a profitable farm to pass along to the next generation, just as you saw in that video. So what I'd like to do is kind of summarize this strategy in a few words. You know, there's three real things here we want to do. We want to create smarter equipment to enable better decision. That comes about in three ways. Plant level management. We want to help farmers become better micromanagers through automation. When you think about micromanagement, you generally think it isn't a good thing, but in agriculture, it really is. We want to use sensors, machine learning, and robotics as some of our key technologies. We want to be able to monitor and control millions of seeds that are planted on the farm in a way to optimize things for the farmer to increase productivity and precision. So an example of how we're using some of this plant level management really comes back to like Combine Advisor. That's a prime example of this technology. The second step we look at is really simplified farm management. And by that, we know that as farms grow and skilled labor becomes harder to find, we need for farm managers to keep their finger on the pulse and have a well-oiled machine that continues to grow. But we know that most farmers aren't sitting behind their desk in a command center watching a large monitor all day. In reality, they're probably in the cab or out in a pickup truck. So for us, we need to simplify that farm management process, which means a mobile experience that allows them to manage his or her farm from their phone. So we're investing heavily in this technology today, and you're going to see significant changes coming in the future to make it much easier for users along the way. The third thing is enabling better decisions. You know, we want data-driven decisions. The promise of precision ag has been that a farmer, I could learn from the data that comes from my farm. Well, I think we haven't quite delivered on that promise yet. You know, as mentioned in the introduction, I've been around precision ag for a long time, and we've seen some great improvements. But one of the things that I've seen from day one is that our data is still a bit too fragmented. It's really difficult to get into one place, and it's really difficult to glean any insights from that. So we know that as farmers, you don't want to be a data scientist. You want to be decision makers. So that's where we're really focused on how to surface the value from the data in an automated and simplified way so that you aren't required to dig for it yourselves. So let's take a look at the agriculture industry as a journey. When we think of it, technology and innovation have always been a part of agriculture, and we've seen incredible advances over the decades with tangible benefits for both farmers and customers. If we take a look back in the early 1800s, animal power transformed farming across Europe and the US. 100 years later, the 1900s brought the age of mechanization and the introduction of the internal combustion engine, and of course the first tractor. This act of replacing the horse with the tractor can be seen as one of the first major robotic pushes in agriculture. When we look in the 1950s, the ag industry made its way into the chemical revolution, in which science caused major disruption as genetics, GMOs, and chemicals brought new meaning to productivity. One of the things that I really like to think about would be the early 2000s when John Deere introduced guidance system with sub-inch accuracy, automation, and parallel tracking, and thus precision ag really began. This type of precision changed how we approach farming, making it easier to reduce input costs, save time, increase operator comfort, and cover more acres. Today, the digital age, we're on the age of a new revolution in precision farming that uses artificial intelligence, connectivity, and data to drive smarter decisions, increase machine uptime, and make the most efficient use of our resources. We're already seeing that impact that artificial intelligence has in the respect to treating each plant individually, I think we're just at the beginning of this. So when we look at our strategy overall, one of the things that I like to think of is that in this digital ecosystem that we've put together over the past years, it's really connecting equipment, decision makers, and partners all across the system. It's an integrated ecosystem. And the key differentiator here is that John Deere, Precision Ag, and all of our platforms will increase this production system advantage for all of our customers. When I talk about things like this, I'd like to say that data is really the fuel of our strategy, not the exhaust. We need to utilize the data that it's coming in. So the investments we've made in connectivity are really the backbone of the strategy. You know, first bringing the data from the equipment to the cloud, where it can be used not only for connected support, which John will talk a little bit more about in a bit, but also into the operations center, which is really the hub for us for decision making and sharing that information with connected partners like retailers or agronomists. So the differentiator here again is once we've got that data, we can push that data back down. That's what that yellow arrow is. It's showing that information going back down to the machine. Intelligence for automation, seamlessly integrated back down into our equipment. Today, most of us think of that as a prescription, but in the future, we're going to go well beyond prescription and the types of information that get back to the equipment. Our strategy for smarter equipment is that we can leverage spatial intelligence from other passes as well as other resources. And that's going to bring that automation intelligence down to the equipment where it can complement our onboard sensors to create the smartest, most automated machines possible. So in reality, this fusion of offboard data, spatial intelligence, and real-time onboard sensor data is the fuel that's going to create smarter equipment that creates more value for our customers. So if we take a look at this a little bit differently, the big idea to remember here is that we're building that green on green production system advantage that's powered by data. Micromanaging at the plant level means that that goal of planting is to count every seed. The goal of spraying is to make every drop count, and the goal of harvesting is to make every kernel count. So the little arrows that you see signify that each production step doesn't exist in a vacuum, but it's really chained together by the data from the steps that came previous. So again, really that goal is to make each Deere sprayer smarter and perform better, utilizing the intelligence that it's gained from prior experience. So this kind of sounds futuristic, but it's not. Just yesterday, we introduced a new precision ag application called AutoPath that does just that. It makes the machine performing the next step in the production cycle even smarter than it would have been on its own. So let's move on to the next slide and we'll kind of show you how that all happens. So as I mentioned, this was released yesterday. This is a solution that clearly illustrates what we've been discussing of using data from one field pass to make the next pass even smarter. So it all begins during planting or maybe strip tilling. That individual row data is captured during that first pass, and the geospatial location of the actual crop rows are seamlessly streamed up to the operations center for use throughout the whole cropping season. So most farmers carefully guard their golden AB lines for each field, using them throughout the crop season. But we all know and understand that implements don't always follow precisely behind the tractor, especially around curves and hills. AutoPath overcomes this. With AutoPath, the original guidance line is of less importance, and the new guidance lines for the next pass in the field are automatically calculated and ready to begin. For example, when a sprayer pulls into the field, AutoPath generates a guidance plan for the field to keep the sprayer tires between the rows and off the crop based on the crop that was actually planted. So during harvest, the combine operator no longer has to count rows to find the planter's edge or kind of search out those wide or narrow guess rows. AutoPath, based on where the rows were planted, will automatically create the guidance plan for the field and guide the machine into the new land in exactly the right spot. So in down crop condition like those that we saw this year in the Midwest with derecho, AutoPath can mean the difference between harvesting the crop or using a disc to till it under. This is one machine using the data and sending it to the other machines to make them even smarter. Back to you, John.
Thanks, Doug. For you to fully take advantage of the capabilities we are building and intend to build in the future, machines in one pass, making those doing the next pass smarter and enabling better, more informed decisions across the operation, some foundational technologies are necessary. We'll spend the next several minutes talking about the value of John Deere's integrated precision ag on large ag machines. We understand that getting started with precision ag can be daunting. And if you have begun the journey, sometimes knowing what step to take next can be a bit unclear. At Deere, we are trying to make it as easy as possible by including a solid foundation with all new large ag machines that you purchase from our dealers. I'm fond of saying that it all begins on the roof of the cab. Our newest machines are built with an integrated Starfire 6000 receiver in the cab, on the roof cab, pre-calibrated from the factory and ready to go to work. You have your choice of differential correction accuracy, but by default, these machines are priced with SF3 accuracy included. With the integrated receiver, most struggles and concerns simply go away. No longer do you need to worry or think about what accuracy level is on a given receiver and which receiver is on which machine. And the risk you take when moving that receiver from one machine to another is eliminated. And we all understand that accuracy really stops at the receiver. To get the accuracy you need to the ground where it counts, you must calibrate a universal portable receiver and enter new settings every time it's moved. With the integrated receiver, it comes pre-calibrated from the factory to be as accurate as possible. The integrated Starfire 6000 receiver helps you get started more quickly and delivers the accuracy you need for whatever precision field work you have planned. Now let's look inside the cab at the 4600 Command Center display. This is the tool that you use to monitor machine status and performance, to control the precision ag applications running on the display and in your equipment, and to really analyze the quality of work being done in the moment. As we said before, the foundation is critical. Having these foundational precision ag applications at your fingertips and ready to go to work make your job easier. We include AutoTrack to help automate steering on the machine. AutoTrack is essentially the application upon which all other more advanced precision ag applications are built. We also include documentation so that the work you do, tillage, planting or seeding, application, and harvest are easily documented. That documentation serves as the basis for better decisions that Doug will be talking about after a bit. We also include DataSync. It's an application that pushes that documentation data to John Deere Operations Center so that you no longer need to worry about how or when to get data off the machine and into another tool to make it actionable. The machine does it for you automatically and behind the scenes. And when you can't quite remember how to do something or want to better understand how a given application works, built-in help plus the full operator's manual are at your fingertips on the display. Simply press an italic I icon for additional information and access to that context-sensitive help. The 4600 Command Center on new large ag machines comes loaded with the features to get you started on that precision ag journey, but it doesn't end there. When you're ready, you can add even more advanced applications like in-field data sharing to share guidance lines, coverage maps, and as applied rates and data between multiple machines running together in the same field. or even more advanced applications like AutoPath that Doug discussed earlier, allowing you to take advantage of even more automation, paving the way to higher in-field efficiency and higher quality work. For you to realize all the advantages available that we've described in our strategy and vision, connectivity is key. That's why all new large ag machines come with connectivity built in and included for 5 years. What's more, we know that no one farms alone, and sometimes you need help. The connectivity on your machine allows, if you choose, to let your dealer or some other trusted advisor to connect with your machine and help coach you through display settings remotely, wirelessly, and quickly. And your machine's smart. It knows if something is beginning to go wrong or might soon fail. Expert alerts use that same connectivity to let you, and if you choose, your dealer, know of a problem before it creates expensive downtime. I hope this gives you a bit clearer picture of the possibilities and the reasons why we include the technologies we do built in from the factory. We want to make sure that you have what you need to get started easily, to take the next steps when you're ready, and to worry less about compatibility now and in the future. We deliver a firm foundation so that when the time's right, you can continue to build on the solid footing and begin to leverage the power of data in your operation.
Great. Thanks, John. Let's spend the next couple of minutes talking about the value of John Deere's integrated precision ag, not just tractors, but other large equipment. That same JD Link connection that John mentioned streams data that you're collecting automatically to the operations center. And there's several things that happen there. You can analyze the results yourself. You can share that information with others that you trust to help you make decisions. You can even manage your farm from anywhere with the My Operations mobile app. If you have a tablet and you want to connect into the cab, you also have the opportunity to use Connect Mobile, which is really a high definition harvest, planting, or application data viewed real time in the cab, and it will highlight any possible performance improvements that you may want to make while you're still in the cab, while there's still time, and while you're still working on that job. When you're ready, you can use that built-in JD Link connectivity to do even more. Just a couple examples: machine-to-machine communication, driving even more efficiency and automation into your operation. You can also remotely adjust combine settings from the palm of your hand with remote view and adjust. So when we look at this, we really think of our farm management and operations center as being wrapped around the 4 functions that we have out there: setup, planning, monitoring, and analyzing. We can deeply integrate into the equipment better than others out there today, and it's all done through our operations center and our in-cab displays. So we want to really use the analyze tools that we have to learn from our farm, unlock some of that economic headroom that we have. And we have several tools available to help build the understanding of what's going on out in your field. We want to go beyond the do-it-yourself exploration tools and really help to surface and automate those insights, because we know it's difficult to make decisions by just looking at maps themselves. So since we're talking about smarter equipment and better decisions, I'd like to share with you just a few of these analyze tools so you can see what they look like today. So on the screen today, you see our analyze tool within our operations center. There's a lot of flexibility and functionality built in here to help you drive to the answers and the decisions to make you ultimately more profitable. Just released a few days ago was the ability for us to switch quickly and easily from this tabular data, which highlights your performance. So if you're looking at your yield, you can view your yield by variety across your entire operation. You can view it across certain fields. There's many things that you can do here, but we've added a little button into this screen that will take you out to the map, which will give you the visual representation that I'm sure many of you are familiar with through the Field Analyzer Beta tool. Field Analyzer Beta lets you view things side by side. It will let you dissect that field to see certain areas that you maybe want to look at a little bit closer to understand what's going on out there. So we're running close on time here, so I'm not going to continue through all of this, but really what I want to do is just make sure that you're aware that we do have the tools out there to allow you to dig deeper into your data and derive that profitability. Now that I've kind of showed you what's available out on the web, let's take a look at some of these same features that are available from the mobile product as well. So when we look at this next screen, it should look very familiar to what you just saw on the web. Again, it's going to let you look at your yield by field, by farm, by variety, quickly and easily. So different form factor, same look and feel. So this is the My Operations. If you want to see where your equipment is or how they're progressing in the field, you can click on a machine itself, and that will give you both machine information as well as agronomic information. So what happens if you don't have, and in this screen, you can see where the machine is. You can also view the progress. You can view some of the agronomic details as well. What happens if you don't have the ability to record data as it happens in the field with the display? That's one of the features that we added just recently as well, and that is what we've called manual documentation. This will allow you to go in and create a record on your phone for harvest, planting, and applications so that you can have one source that flows seamlessly back up into the cab, from the cab back up into the operations center. So again, that manual ability to enter that information is going to be key so that you have accurate records and you can dive even deeper into the analysis piece. So one last thing, have you ever had somebody in the cab call and ask for help setting up the display, or maybe wondering if they have the machine set up correctly? We also have a tool called Remote Display Access. Again, through the connectivity, this tool will let you from your desk or from your phone call out to that cab, see exactly what's going on in the cab, help your operators, and help them optimize your machine, again, to build that profitability and understand what's going on. So we've kind of talked about the agronomy through these last couple of slides. What I want to do is just talk about the machine side of things and how you can enable better profitability through the machines. I've got a slide up here that shows you our tool called Machine Analyzer. And if you look in the center of that, there's 4 S660 combines. And on the right-hand side, you'll see where their range goes from 82 to 90%. That's the machine operational efficiency. So 4 identical machines, one of them is performing 8%, is actually 8% more productive. So using this, you can look at it and try and determine what's causing some of those operational errors, operation efficiencies. Is it the way the machine's set? Is it the operator itself? We want to make sure that we understand what's going on. And in addition to just what the machine is doing, are they using the technology that you as an owner have purchased? So when we click to another screen, we can actually see how AutoTrack is being used. So with that, John, I will pass the ball back over to you, and we'll skip through some of the other views that you can see here as well.
Thanks, Doug. I appreciate that. So we hope that what we've shared really helps you better understand not only what John Deere's doing to fulfill the promise of precision ag, but also challenges your thinking a bit about how you might engage more deeply to realize those benefits. To really deliver on precision ag's promise, it takes a combination of things. Machines that are equipped to do more than just the work at hand, but to also collect data and to be used throughout the production system. Connectivity that lets equipment communicate with the cloud and each other, along with the farmer's capabilities to access agronomic and machine information anytime, anywhere. And digital tools that aid in analysis, as well as sharing of data to create even better decisions, leading to higher profitability in the future. So that concludes the information that Doug and I wanted to share. Andrew, do you have questions? Do we have some time for questions?
Yeah, we've got a couple quick questions, but if anyone has more questions, please connect with John and Doug through the feed loop, and they will be able to answer your questions there as well. I'm going to try to get some real quick ones right now. Will the ecosystem support the use of remote sensing data? That's one of the questions asked.
Doug, is that one you want to take?
Yes, so we have over 140 connected software companies that connect into the operations center, again, given the grower's permission, and many of those companies use aerial imagery as well as drone imagery and satellite imagery to push information into the ops center, as well as to help do some analysis once it's in there. So yes, that is something that the system definitely does support.
Okay, perfect. For a farmer that relies on mostly custom machine services, can the application seeding and other data be exported and be used by third-party field management software?
Yeah, so I'll take that one. Or go ahead, Doug. That's fine. John. No, I was going to say really the same answer that Doug provided to the first question really applies here as well. So not only do those connected partners that Doug discussed provide for the ability to bring data into Operations Center, those same tools can be used to get data, share data outwardly as well. So absolutely, through that connected partner approach that we've taken to create accessibility to data both directions really enables some of those things.
Great. There is no doubt that John Deere is leading innovation in precision ag. Fields are a green brand, especially at harvest. But how is John Deere supporting timely repairs when sensors go down and machines are rendered inoperable? That's a good question.
Yeah, that is a good question, and really certainly one that is important to our customers. It's important to us as well. We think about making sure that we try to get in front of those, and I mentioned that just a little bit in terms of expert alerts. We think that's one of the avenues in which we can really try to get in front of a potential problem before it happens. Machines really are pretty smart today. And this connectivity, we believe, is certainly key to making sure that if a machine is beginning to have a problem, a diagnostic trouble code, DCTs, right, or the terminology that typically gets called, that information is relayed to those that can get in front of a problem and stop a problem before it becomes catastrophic and starts to create downtime. We all understand, right? Machines have been purchased to do work, and work generates revenue, and that's what this is all about. So minimizing that downtime is certainly forefront in our minds.
Perfect, guys. Probably just one last question, and this one's a little bit tricky one. Do you foresee a system that can be used across different manufacturers?
So I believe probably what's kind of being asked about is really the data system, I suspect is what's being asked in this question. And recently was announced a program called Data Connect that actually does just that, allows machine information to be shared among a group of equipment manufacturers. Currently it's Deere and Claas. Other equipment manufacturers might choose to participate in the future, but that's really some of those first steps. We understand that not everybody has pure green fleets. And so we need to make sure that we're doing all that we can to make information accessible, visible, actionable, really regardless of where it originated from.
Perfect. Well, thanks, John. Thank you, Doug, and thanks everyone who joined in today. Great presentation from both of you. Love to see what John Deere is doing. Certainly one of the leaders in precision ag and in equipment. So we'll say goodbye. If you've got more questions for John and Doug, you can connect with them through the Feed Loop app. Coming up next is going to be our student presentation, the three winners of our Precision Ag competition, who will receive the funding, the $2,500 from Farms.com. So make sure you join in for that, and that's going to be, I believe, in 10 minutes. And again, thanks, John. Thanks, Doug, and let's have a great day, and I hope you enjoyed the day. Thanks.
Yep.